Yo, what's up? It's Jason. I'm back with another video on the road. I'm back in the Toronto area and got some new wax, including this new bag. How cool is this record bag? Check it out. It's got a zipper on top so it can protect it from the weather. Sturdy bottom and fits quite a bit of wax, as you guys can see here too. So that's just yesterday's pickup actually, as well as one cassette, and we'll show you what I got. So as usual in Toronto, I hit up some of my favorite shops. Well, one of my favorite shops for sure yesterday, which was Sonic Boom. You can't go wrong with Sonic Boom. Basically, it's been there for a while. In fact, they used to have two locations, but now it's all kind of intensified into the one on Spadina, and it's large, very large, two very large floors. Bottom floor especially got just loads and loads of records, including sevens as well, and cassettes too. But I got this cassette at a different record shop yesterday. So I'll start off with the 7-inch. Only picked up one 7 yesterday. I was so busy with all the other records. And I am videotaping from Mississauga, so that is where the big Toronto airport is. So we're going to hear some airplanes overhead maybe. This is Bootsy Collins, Bootzilla single on Warner Brother Records. You guys can see that. And the flip side is Vanishing. And yeah, Vanish in Our Sleep. Sorry. So good little single there from Bootsy, with of course George Clinton on the production. Bootsy's Rubber Band. $3 pickup. This has got to be one of the weirdest ones. Well, unknown record that I picked up yesterday, but I looked it up really quickly. This is a Canadian post-punk band of the 80s called the Reactors. There's a bunch of Reactors out there, so this is the Canadian group called the Reactors of the 80s. Only had a couple of singles, and this one actually sells. I saw on Discogs for about $50. I got a copy for $10. Really cool single actually. Photograph Boy, Sweet Angel Mine, You're the One, It's Magic, Sex, Drugs, and Wine. So it's a 5-track EP really. Came out in the 80s, 1985 on Nemesis Records. Reactors, that's another one. Picked up some old solid Quincy Jones. I didn't have this one before, and been kind of wanting to get it if I saw it, so I did. Smackwater Jack, got for $8. This is one of my favorite pickups from yesterday actually, just chock full of samples. Of course, it's got the Hick-a-Burr track on side 2, which was sampled a lot by Above the Law, one of my favorite rap groups from the 90s. But other stuff has been sampled too. There's a lot of like movie or TV soundtrack work that he did basically on this album. This is from 1971, I think. Canadian Press. Then I found a copy of this. This is kind of rare. Keith LeBlanc of Tackhead fame, of course, and also going all the way back to the Sugar Hill Gang. He was part of the live band Backup. This is his solo stuff called Stranger Than Fiction. $10 for a copy of this on Enigma Records. There's a Canadian press on Network, but this is the US press. Love the old Enigma record label. And I'm going to say 1989 for this one. Pretty cool. It's got the Einstein song on it, which I have a single for already. I picked up a copy of Pass the Dutchie. This is only $8, so I think I had this before and seem to have lost my copy, so why not get another one while I'm at it. Now this, oh my god, this is almost like a grail in the midst. So I'm in there digging. I got like a whole stack of records. I'm going to go and do like a preview on the listening station, and I happen to walk by the hip-hop section, which I usually pretty much walk by in this shop because it's mostly all new stuff, and I have almost all the hip-hop that I want from the golden era. Kind of completed most of my collection years ago, except for the odd nugget here and there, including this one, which I didn't have. What? Big Daddy Kane, Taste of Chocolate. Oh my god. This is and it's you know, OG press, original pressing. Seems to be like around VG plus, I'd say, for only $8. Now this is his third album. It's not as good as the first two, and I still am on the hunt for the second album, which I saw in the States a while back for a high price and passed on, and now definitely want it. But for $8 for Big Daddy Kane's third album, and it's a pretty good album. It's still got some good jams on here. Taste of Chocolate, Mr. Pitiful, was a good track. But I'm trying to find what the I think the single on this one was Cause I Can Do It Right. Always mixing a bit of like a little bit of dance or a little bit of house even in some of the raps. Big Daddy Kane, $8. Now this one, I have been really rocking this jam quite a bit on my Spotify lately, and it is an old school jam as well. House, dance music, early 90s, Stevie V, Dirty Cash, Money Talks. I got a whole video on my TikTok using this song. So saw a copy of this for $6. Grabbed that single. Very cool. It's on Mercury. Grabbed a second copy of Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel, although it's called Grandmaster and Mel Mel because they had some kind of weird falling out briefly. So anyway, $6 for White Lines. If you don't have that single, you should get it. It's an amazing single. Great hooks on that. Some more old school funk and soul that I did not have. Pointer Sisters, another Pointer Sisters record. I did not have this one. It's called Special Things. Kind of early in their career, I'd say like fourth album. It's after Energy. It's before Automatic and Black and White and those ones as well. So Special Things is pretty good. I think I recognize a sample or two on this one. I have to look it up. If you're ever looking for who used what sample, there's a total website for that, of course, called sampled.com or whosampled.com, which is quite handy. Rufus and Chaka Khan. I got excited because I was like, wow, this is a Chaka Khan record I don't actually already own. Turns out it's a very best of, which is also still cool. I'd never seen this one before. I don't know, in my travels. $8. And some killer tracks on here. I have most of these because I do have a lot of Chaka Khan stuff, but you got Do You Love What You Feel, which is produced by Quincy Jones. Amazing track. And You Got the Love, which I really love that track too. Also been sampled. Here's the Ohio Players. Did not have this one before. Ouch. Okay, sexy cover, as the Ohio Players always did back in the 70s. This one's for $10. U.S. pressing on Boardwalk Records. And Do Your Thing is quite well known. And I think there's other stuff that I've heard before too. This one I'll show after. Got a little bit of Blood, Sweat, and Tears too while I was at it. Jazz, funk band, rock band of the 60s into the 70s. This one is from the 70s, 1974. The Mirror Image. Not bad. It was only $5. Grabbed it for $5. They had some other Blood, Sweat, and Tears that was like higher price that I passed on. Because I'm not that into 60s style rock. I know there's a lot of fusion going on, and that's what I do appreciate. So, a couple of good tracks on there. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Now, oh yeah, man, I got some more stuff. This is all from one shop, okay? And then I did hit up one other shop later, so I'll try to go a little faster here because we got so much. How about Joeski Love? Joeski Love, the Pee Wee Dance. If you guys don't know that one. Yeah, Pee Wee Herman makes an appearance, not an actual appearance, but in hip-hop, they did do a dedication to Pee Wee's Dance by Joeski Love. Good single. Another awesome single, Romeo Void, Never Say Never. Great track on this. I feel like it's almost like an EP, because it's more of an EP. It's 4 different tracks on this one. Good band. I think they're from LA. Sort of post-punk new wave band from LA. Another classic old school jazz funk fusion record, disco fusion, Herb Alpert, aka one of the A&M records. So this is the Rise album. A lot of weak sauce on this album, but a lot of amazing gold as well, including the title track, Rise, of course, is the best and has been sampled the most, including by Notorious B.I.G. The Hypnotize track totally gets the beat and the breakdown from the Rise track on here. So I did not know that until I was playing it yesterday on a little turntable we got here, and very excited to hear that. One more single in the pile, then I got a couple rockabilly. Okay, I got 2 more singles to show here. The Newsboys, probably, I'm thinking maybe from New York, on the Sam label, which was a Long Island record label. Bring Me the Newsboy, side A, and Alternatives on side 2. Kind of synth poppy, funk disco single. And then this is a classic. This is a UK press of Steinsky and the Mass Media. We'll Be Right Back. It's the second single. The first single you will probably never find because I think it was completely smashed up because of copyright infringement. That's the one that's sampling Walter Cronkite. This guy, basically, the whole story behind Steinsky's like an ad exec or ad maker, and he started fooling around with samplers back in the 80s. If you don't know, this is a classic within hip-hop and sample music in general. Big influence back in the day, and got repressed UK pressing here on 4th and Broadway, 1986. We'll Be Right Back. Got a lot of like sort of adverts in there, sampled. Now, next 4 records I got, the last 4 records I got at Sonic Boom yesterday are all in the rockabilly kind of zone. Except for that one, actually. Before I get to the rockabilly, one more single. Jeez, there's so much here. Cosmetics, The Crack. This is a really cool single. Never heard of this group before. Kind of a blind buy. It's on IRS. Just really great track. I actually kind of like the edit version the best. It's growing on me with each listen. Okay, now the 3 that I got of rockabilly. I've been kind of getting into Gene Vincent lately after watching some stuff of his on YouTube. The guy was a total rebel back in the day, kind of a punk influence, I would say. Yeah, this is his greatest. So you got Bebop Lubop and all that stuff on here. This is on Capitol Records. A reissue, I think, that came out in the 70s, because it looks like that. So Gene Vincent's greatest. And then I picked up this one, which I guess is a classic Gene Vincent record, recorded in the 50s, like 58. The record date with the Blue Caps, that was his band. And as you can see, there's a reissue near mint copy for 20 bucks. It's reissue out of Europe. Yeah, so I had to do a quick switch of the phone here because the phone died. But as I was showing Gene Vincent, this is a classic old school record that was reissued, as I was saying, from Europe. I think from Spain on the Wax Time label around the 2000s, maybe 2014, 2015 looks like. Direct Metal Mastering, DMM on there. So yeah, picked up some cool rockabilly, old school rock and roll, including this guy too, a little bit of Carl Perkins. I didn't have any in my record collection, so there you go. Got the Golden Hits for $8. Picked that up. Old school legend. And then finally got this hat as well, Sonic Boom. So that is the shop in Toronto. If you ever make it to the big, I'm going to say capital, not the capital of Canada, but the capital of Ontario, is Toronto. Center of the universe, generally. And one other shop I went to, which is Emissions Records. It's a really niche record shop. Small shop with a cafe as well, specializing in mostly all punk and some metal. And pretty recently opened up. I dropped off some low noise tapes there, traded in some punk 7s that I wasn't listening to that I had a ton of, and in its place I got a couple of cool things in exchange. I got this cassette, Guilt Parade, Coprophobia is the name of this cassette, and released from 1989 on Fringe Records out of Canada. This is Canadian hardcore from the 80s. I think they're actually originally from the Atlantic coast, from Fredericton, if I'm not mistaken. Never seen this album or cassette before. Pick that up. Very cool hardcore. And I got a copy of this after seeing Uncommon Pallor show this on his latest video. I had to pick this up, the Hellshock. I guess this band's been around for a little while, and they're from Portland. And real total mix of crust punk and D-beat and death metal as well. So I didn't get the other one that I'm looking for. That one seems to be sold out everywhere, including on their Bandcamp. But I managed to get a copy of this on Blackwater Records. That's the old gents there in the back. Yeah, Hellshock. Some great heavy stuff. Found a copy without having to pay shipping fees. So that's my roundup of Toronto so far. I may still be here for a little bit longer, so I may still hit up a couple more shops, and I'll see you guys on the next one.